Second Maccabees, chapter 7, and verse 31. And thou, that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Haracha Kodash for giving me the spirit to do this video. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth in sincerity. They steered us well and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. This is the brother Zion coming at you with another lesson to feed the lambs through the Holy Spirit. Haracha Kodash, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying and to the point. All right. And in this lesson, we're going to get into the first casualty of war is truth. All right. The first casualty of war is truth. You know? And war feeds on illusions. You know? Okay. War, it is fueled by it. You know? You got propaganda. It'll get pushed on Esau's mediums, you know, in their media, which is going into medium, so they can channel you and program you. All right? And whatever propaganda they want to put out, 9 times out of 10, is going to turn into violence and then into heroism. And then it's going to be replaced by lies. You know? You have Babylon the Great. Okay? They were at first trying to, you know, struggle to find a narrative to tell the American people. All right? Now it looks like it that they have one. And their narrative is that Iran is this big national security threat, all right, to Babylon the Great. They have all of these nukes. They have all of this stuff. They have all of this destruction over there, you know. So they have to be pursued. Now, they may have nuclear capabilities, but all of the nukes that they do have it is going to be given to them. All right, they don't have the capabilities to produce nuclear technology. North Korea do, China do, Russia do too. You know, why are you not bombing those guys? You know, so they have a state of heroism. You know, America being the good guy and Iran being the bad guy. Because these guys, they wear turbans and they say Allah Akbar. So those guys are the evil. Like, that is literally the narrative that they're pushing. All right, they wanted to change their philosophy. Basically just bombed the supreme leader. I mean, bombed the shit out of them. And really, their supreme leader was like 86 years old. So I don't even really know how long that guy was going to live longer, but how long the guy really got. I mean, honestly, let's be real. He's 86. You know? And then DJT was trying to push a narrative to have control over who is going to be over Iran, but Iran chose the supreme leader's son. You know? But the narrative over here was everybody hated the supreme leader, but you know, you do research and you do digging, you will understand that the supreme leader had a good relationship with the majority of his nation. you know? So like I said earlier, war feeds on illusions, where the propaganda turns into the violence, and then it turns into the heroism, you know, and facts are going to be replaced with lies, you know, like all of the numbers, for instance, all of the numbers of casualties, all of the numbers of how many soldiers that we're going to send over there. All of those numbers look funny if you really understand war, and you really understand casualties, and you really understand, you know, death and things of that nature. Those numbers are much higher. It's not no 1,500 soldiers. They're down in the tens and 15s of thousands. You know, it's not like they are. I'm talking about all of the numbers are like off. You know, and they're trying to give you these lies, you know, to maintain so-called morale and support. You understand? Because you got to look at Afghanistan from 2001 to 2002. You know, America, all right, bombed the shit out of Afghanistan, all right, during the time of bin Laden. All right. And there was a Delta Force commander that was on that mission. His name is Dalton Fury. He was the Delta Force commander that was on that operation that bombed Afghanistan in 2001 through 2002. You know? So I believe, honestly, because mind you, they could have got bin Laden in 2001 to 2002, but I believe they let him go so they could prolong the war, you know what I'm saying, so they could prolong the war, because we was in Afghanistan 17 years. All right. Now, let's get a quick scripture. All right. You know, because Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, all right, they're being exposed for all of the lies and all of the falsehood that they've been pushing, man. And it's going to be shown to light. Now, I have, through the Spirit, I got 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8. It reads, "And then shall that wicked be revealed." You see? So now the world is understanding who is the one telling the lies. Who is the one out here really, you know, lying to the people, deceiving the people. You know? The wicked be revealed. Everybody know that the small hats is behind this entire Iran and America war. All right. Everybody knows that the small hats aren't the, you know, redheaded stepchild getting bullied. No, they are Debo. All right. And Benjamin Netanyahu, he have a lot of power over DJT. DJT is very subservient to Benjamin Netanyahu. And we all know DJT is the most proudest on the planet. So, but when he's around Benny, he is very, you know, subservient. You know, it's like he knows his place. He knows that he has a boss that he has to answer to, and he has to make happy. You know, and the world is seeing it. And the world is seeing it. All right. The world is seeing that the narrative that America is pushing is BS. They know that the small hats is the one behind all of this. They know it. So what's next? Esau not gonna care, and he just gonna have to hit the kill switch. You know? But these small hats are so proud. They know you don't have the power to go against them, so really they don't give a fuck, to be honest. They really don't. Look how they do. Look how they moving. You know? Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. You see? Yahweh Shema Shai is going to put an end to all of that, with all of that deceivableness. The Lord is going to destroy that. All those lies, you know. I got Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You see, it's in them to lie to the people. It's in their nature to lie to the people. The new paid actors are politicians, which the old cats, they call them polytricksters. Their job nowadays, really all the time, but they're really on the acting shit now. Everything is so fabricated and fake and so fraudulent. It's crazy, man. You know, it is literally abstraction from reality, man, where you don't know what's real. Anytime a person can't even identify whether this is an AI video or not. Like, you know, that's how you know this is abstraction from reality. So how can you abstract a person from reality? Fucking lies. Okay? To where they'll be so engulfed in the lie, they won't even give a fuck about the truth. Whoever wins the war writes the history. Esau conquered the earth because, mind you, his blessing is the sword, and by the sword thou shalt live. So he's going to get everything by the sword. So you think he's going to be an honest individual? Not at all. He's going to be a liar. His words were smoother than butter, but they were drawn, swords was drawn in his heart. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, Christopher Columbus was lying. Well, which his real name is Cristobal Colon. But he lied. Hey man, I like them pigtails and that burlap cow skin and all that y'all got on. Hey, can you teach me how to harvest through the winter? But in his mind, it was drawing swords. You know, the moment they teach me this, I'm killing all of them. Grimy. That low down shiesty. All right. And look, it say the wicked are estranged. The wicked is starting with these small hats all the way down to these other low level Edomites. You know, but that's all, the whole wicked. You got the greatest of Esau and you got the worst of Esau. All right. But it's starting with the greatest of Esau, leading down to the worst of Esau. Because you got the supreme people of the Edomites and you got the common folk. You know, it's, you know, just like how you got now. You got, you know, Jake's a high status, Jake's a low status. It's going to be like that in the kingdom. You know, you're going to have Israelites. That's the one folk governing body. And you're going to have regular common folk Israelites. You know, same thing. You know, the Edomites you see walking around here is the common folks. This the best it's going to get for them on this side. Just to work and go home and pay rent. That's the best thing they got going on. They in their kingdom. Now it say, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies. You see? So you got to understand one thing too, is that America is not built like Iran. Number one. Because you got to look at how long Iran been fighting. They are a war type of people anyway. But, you know, they've been fighting this particular war for longer than a whole lot of us even been born, man. You know? And America been planning this since the 1940s. Donald Trump had this on his mind since the 1980s. And then Benjamin Netanyahu had this on his mind since the 90s. You see what I'm saying? So if you are very savvy about war, and you have paranoia, and you have disciplined paranoia like a country may be out to get me, you may take all of your bombs, all of your stuff, and just bury it. Take it underground. A lot of these countries take their stuff underground, man. And I believe Iran is one of them. They could be. I don't know. You know. But the big wigs, they most definitely take their stuff underground. Most definitely. That's why they got bunker busters and all that type of stuff that can penetrate the ground, like armor piercing rounds, but ICBM style. You know? And they gonna keep it underground off radar. You know, if you really like that, and if you really had the capabilities, you gonna make sure it's off the radar as well. You know, they said that. Now, mind you, here was another narrative that America pushed, that basically Iran blew up some of the nuclear programs that America had, which I doubt it. They just probably want to have a reason just to fuck them over, because Iran is focusing on building a new regime, and the narrative since the 40s was to completely destroy Iran 100%. No ifs, ands, buts about it. That is the true narrative of America, to completely destroy Iran and take all their shit. That's the true narrative. Literally. So I don't think that the government told us the truth on all of the nuclear, you know, some of the nuclear capabilities of America and placed in different parts of the world got bombed up. I doubt it. I doubt it. I believe that's just giving them a more reason to go in and to start more war and to completely destroy Iran. DJT said he gonna keep the pipes. The pipes is the oil. He just call it the pipes. He said he gonna keep the pipes. And then when he get done with the pipes, he got to make a phone call, and that'll be blown up in 5 minutes, is what he said. So my biggest question to Esau is, you know, why are you so obsessed with war? We know that your blessing is the sword, and by the sword thou shalt live. But in America, out of this 250 years of America being in existence, out of 250 years, I say about 14 to 16 years of that was actual battle on the land. So America technically not battle tested. Look how proud these niggas is walking around here, thinking nothing gonna happen. Out of 250 years, only 14 to about 16 years of that was actually battle, boots on the ground, shooting at each other, a bunch of people dead. Out of 250 years versus these other countries. These other countries are more battle tested, you know? You know, I mean, think about it. America killed more innocent civilians in the act of war than any terrorist organization that you can combine and name. That is the facts. That is the facts. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens upon dozens of people dead. Civilians, innocent. They ain't got shit to do with nothing. They was just eating hummus and damn flatbread, and U.S. Army came in. What you gonna do? Continue to eat hummus, or you gonna defend your house? A lot of those people was defending their houses, and a lot of people died in it too. Why? Because they need to facilitate this entire city, and we need your house as a safe zone. So y'all got to get the fuck out. And they clear out everything. Some people defend their house and dying. That's an innocent civilian to me. That's the story of a lot of Habibis' life over there, man. Habibis and Babas and whatever they call themselves. And they call themselves some other stuff, man. You know? So Babylon shouldn't even be obsessed with war. But you got to look at who running it. Esau is obsessed with war. Esau love war. You know, that's why they have the state of heroism. You know, and that word heroism is, I have a definition for it. Heroism is the demonstration of extreme courage, bravery, and selfless action, often risking one's life for a higher purpose, noble end, or to protect others. It involves exceptional fortitude in the face of danger or adversity. You see, you think DJT is a hero? Not at all. Joe Biden ain't no hero. Obama not no hero. None of these niggas is heroes. Okay? They want to push a soldier as a hero, but a soldier follow orders. A soldier can be told to kill an innocent civilian, and he got orders to follow, so he gonna do it. He just gonna treat him like a bad guy, so he don't feel bad about it. You know? Till he smacking down a whole case of Heineken when he get back. Thinking about it. Because a lot of those soldiers with heroes, he got the Purple Heart. You know, all this weird shit. Slovakia. See, a lot of those guys labeled as a hero from the Purple Heart and all that. Those guys got dreams. Those guys got, you know, extreme thoughts. Slovakia. Giving their minds over to heaviness, man. They had to put a finger in a bullet hole, you know, to stop it from bleeding and shit, and get a tourniquet and all this other type of shit. You know, had to taste his friend's blood in the water because his friend jumped in the way and pushed him and he got shot. They be having some stories, man. Just ate breakfast and his friend got blew up in a Humvee. And now the dude survived. He ain't got too much nothing left but a torso and maybe half an arm and half a Kuta Kente foot. Through. And can't even get no assistance from the government. From the same one that sent his ass there. See, one thing about King David was on the front lines now. Let's go get a preset right quick where we can get King David on the front line right quick. See, King David was really fighting. King David wasn't sitting on a horse like George Washington on the top of the damn rooftop, man. You can't hit nobody on no horse, because that is rules of engagement. Everybody be like, I want to be like George Washington. Why you want to be like George Washington? Because he was on the battlefield. Man, George Washington wasn't dropping nothing. He wasn't smacking nothing. He was standing on that. He was sitting on that damn horse. Probably roaming around looking at people get killed. But he wasn't smacking nothing. King David was smacking shit, though. We finna read it. I'm talking about King David had been in some heavy battles. I mean some heavy battles. I'm talking about if you ain't got the Lord, your ass is done. For real. But one thing about King David, he always inquired to the Lord, and he threw up a palaw though. And the Lord dealing with King David, so the Lord gonna say, I'm gonna doubtlessly give him into your hand. You know, beautiful. But this going into the war with the Philistines, 2 Samuel 5:17. But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, all the Philistines came up to seek David, and David heard of it and went down to the hold. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. So now they just started flanking, like, and King David saying this, like, you know, I'm talking about they trying to line up King David, you know, because they find out that King David got anointed as a king over Israel. Philistines 38 hot, so they trying to ambush King David. And that's what a lot of those Arabs do. Like a lot of the Ishmaelites and all that, and then Philistines, that's their style. They like to ambush you, just hop out of a trash can and just light your ass up. You know what I'm saying? That's what they like to do. But verse 19 it say, and David inquired of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, saying, shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into mine hand? And the Lord said unto David, go up, and I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hand. Man, get them niggas. Get them niggas. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Just swing your sword and bury bonds they ass. You know? And the Lord said unto David, go up, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thy hand. You think Donald Trump is going to inquire to Yahweh Shema Shai? No, he's a damn small hat. He's an Edomite. All right? These devils are carnal. They're not even on this type of stuff. This is how you know that if you in the shadow of the Almighty, Yahweh Shema Shai got you, man. I'm trying to tell you, when you got Yahweh Shema Shai, who can be against you, man? For real. Verse 20, and David came to Baal Perazim, and David smote them there. You hear that? David smote them there. David is the type of warrior. He had killed 10,000 people in one sitting. He got the Lord dealing with him. So you know he looking like Assassin's Creed out there. Looking like Piccolo. You know? King David, man. And on top of that, King David was big too. You think King David was 5'6", 180 pounds? You out of your mind, man. King David was big as hell. So you already know that he was swinging that sword hard as hell, man. So you know his sword ain't gonna be a little dagger. He can probably hit 5 people with one swipe. You can do it with a samurai sword. You can hit 5 people with a samurai sword. So just imagine King David's sword, man. Come on, man. So he killing tens and thousands of people. He putting in overtime, man. You know? Because he got Yahweh Shema Shai. Yahweh Shema Shai said, go up, and I will doubtless deliver them into thine hand. So he went up there and smote them. The Lord hath broken forth upon mine enemies before me as the breach of waters. Therefore he called the name of that place Baal Perazim, and there they left their images, you know, all they idols and shit. The Philistines, they left all of it, you know, all they idols and all that. And David and his men burned them. And the Philistines came up yet again and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And when David inquired of the Lord, he said, Thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And let it be, when thou hearest the sound of a going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt be stir thyself. So that means that you're going to be decisive at that point. For then shall the Lord go out before thee to smite the host of the Philistines. So now you are going to you're going to ambush them. And David did so, and the Lord had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba unto thou come to Gazer. See, whoop they ass up and down the street, man. You really think DJT finna get in shape and put bullets in people? You out of your damn mind. He already did a pardon for his son. His son not getting drafted. Because they say his son, Barron Trump, is too tall because he's 6'9", and he got health issues and all that other crap. Of course. But he is saying Meemaw grandson, and she is saying Papaw grandson. You know, it's finna be granddaughters next. You know? But King David was on the front line. He wasn't just in a suit, just talking shit, hiding in a bunker, scared, biting his nails, shaking his little space boots like these damn elites. Because they in the bunkers right now. You really think they finna be chilling and just wait until the bombs drop? No, they already down there now. That's why they paid the money to go get the shit built, so they can go down there right now. They're not in them castles and none of that. You know? Their job is to have you go along with it, and when the bombs drop, all right, see, you know, hasta la vista, and just leave your ass to die. But they trying to make it seem like they protecting you and they got your best interest. You know, they did the same thing with the truth. You know, they was trying to make it seem like it was in Jake's best interest to follow the laws of the heathen, but really Jake was getting put to death and getting judged left and right. You wasn't supposed to go for it, but Jake went for it. You know, wicked man got persuaded, and they was persuading the people, and they got paid. Man, it was just weird, man. This weird activity that was going on, man, all based on lies, thinking it's okay. Matter of fact, man, we'll get that and then we'll close out. Point made. Where is it at? I got First Maccabees 1:11. I could really read up though. I read verse 10. First Maccabees 1:10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Okay? And those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make us a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So how can you know what I'm saying, give them license? How can you persuade many? By telling them lies. Yo, man, you know, it's all right to be uncircumcised. It's all right to not follow the Sabbath. All you got to do is do this for me, follow the license to go off, and you can get all the perks of what I have to offer to you. And Jake went for that shit, man. You know, Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. You hear that? And they made themselves uncircumcised. All right? Because back in the ancient world, they used to put weights on the end of their foreskin, man, to force themselves to be uncircumcised. Through. Because heathen nations, they're not circumcised. They do it now in the present day. Some do, but majority, it ain't their custom. Being circumcised is our custom. Israelites. All right? You know, and then they were spiritually uncircumcised too, where they was completely not in the covenant, completely separated themselves from Yahweh Shema Washai, from the heart. So they was uncircumcised in the heart and physically, you know, and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. And were sold to do mischief. Jake believed the lie and they bought it. Dreams, lies can buy. You know, you better start saving the money you got. You know, now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion over 2 realms. You see, I'm talking about it, just proud. But it's ultimately to build his kingdom up. See, they trying to build a digital Tower of Babel, and they need Jake help. That's why they trying to own Jake and get all Jake C-Hip and get everybody online in this one system, this one digital platform. That's why they need 6G. All right, not just to make your phone go fast. No, to make you a part of the system, to make you a part of the program, to make you a part of 6G. You know, as a biological antenna with that C-hip in your hand. So what they gonna do? They're gonna create a narrative with that. You know, like it's safe and effective. It can help you. X, Y, and Z, man. All right, but with that, I want to give infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well, very, very unto this very day. Shalom to the elect, the sincere Akim and Akwaf that have been studying, making sure that their calling and their election is sure. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.